everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Reigns. This is a new game from Nerial. Nerial? I'm not totally sure. It might be like the Little Mermaid thing. It might be something completely different, but it's a studio that recently developed, or at least last year, released a game called Devouring Stars that I'm unfamiliar with. This is their new game. It's being published by Devolver Digital, probably most recently well known for Enter the Gungeon, but also Shadow Warrior 2, Strafe, Absolver, all that stuff's upcoming, I suppose, except for Shadow Warrior. But anyway, this in the pitch, it's been described as Tinder for kings. Basically Tinder for kingdoms, if that makes sense. I'm married and I'm not quite hip with the slang that the kids use these days, but what you do is you basically get a simple event, like, for example, your people are starving. Do you want to feed them using funds from the treasury? Then you swipe right in order to do so, you swipe left in order to not do so, and that has an impact. Another way to describe it is that it might be like a little bit like Crusader Kings 2 if all you did was solve or click on the prompts that you got that popped up in the game. Also a little similar to a game like The Yogg, a little similar to a game like Gods Will Be Watching. But you'll see it as we play here. This is a review copy that was given to me by Devolver Digital. The game is going to be $3 when it comes out. At least $3 on Android and iOS. I'm not sure of the Steam price, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same. And actually, I've spent an hour with this so far, and at first I was like, I don't know if it's really going to be my thing. And I'm kind of into it. And I think you'll see a little bit of that as we get going here. I do wish that I had the ability to easily delete my save. But let me try to explain what's going on here as quickly as possible. Basically, the goal of the game, it's a little sandboxy, but there is a high score mechanic, and the score is basically, the longer you rule, the better your score. So you can see in the top left, it says 0 years in power. The way the gameplay works is every single decision that we make, we get a card for. So this one says, I have a gift for you, but it has a price. You will have to prove to me that you're a worthy king. So we can either say no or yes here. Now, some of these cards are going to be multi-stage quests, if that makes sense, and some of them are just going to be one-off things that have an impact. By the way, I can tell I'm actually going to rule for like basically 0 years here. If you look up at the top of the screen, you can see my money is going way up and my person is going way down. That's basically my population. So we're probably going to die like immediately here because I'm taking time to explain what's going on. But basically, our goal, to allow ourselves to rule for as long as possible, we want to keep those 4 meters at the top in equilibrium. You know, we want to keep them all around the middle, or at least not at the extremes. You have a chance to lose the game if any of the meters hit maximum, or if any of the meters hit minimum, so we should lose here. The far left is strength of the church. The one right next to that is the population. The one next to that is the strength of the army. And the one next to that is the money that you have in your treasury. I have a gift for you, but it has a price, and you will have to prove to me you're a worthy king. All right, let's try. Govern 15 years with the ailments of old age, and we will talk again. So she's giving me like a debuff here. Sure, let's do it. This will have an effect every year. Old age, you won't be able to hear or understand properly. Scared, you try very hard to hide your ailment from the court. You can get semi-permanent conditions like this, and I think I can see what our other ones are. Right now, I'm in a crusade, so the slaughter of infidels is a lucrative way to decrease your population each year. That's why my population is going down over time, but my money's going up. Old age, of course, we just saw. Mount care, the hospital will limit the consequences of epidemics and catastrophes, and you will never lose again at the Red Dwarf. We'll see what this means. Your country is so rich, Waro throw a Najardi to collaborato with though Josto Johnsivo food Janoi can buy. See, we have old age, so we're gonna, die here. We died basically because our money meter was at the top. So let's try to go faster next time. You eat so much that you end up choking, everyone is drunk, so your death is only noticed the following morning. That's the worst score I've ever gotten. 1 year. Let's try again. William, 23rd king. We do have some subquest objectives here as well. All right, let's go faster. The river drop is flooding a large part of the country. We need help from the church and the army. So if we say no, we don't know what impact it'll have, but you can see the magnitude of the impact that it'll have. So if we don't help if we don't build a dam, or if we don't, get help from the church and the army, our population will suffer. If we help, probably the church and the army and the treasury will suffer. We're just inferring this from the text, and the population will grow. So let's say yes. There you go. We may have a problem. A monk has started to bite his brothers, and it's spreading fast. General or werewolves? General. Church gets stronger. This is probably a case of lycanthropy. I don't deal with that. I command you to, though. General Conventon puts the monks in prison. They confessed under torture they were indeed werewolves. Werewolves, I don't think so. No, you could call that cruel lack of physical activity. I don't know what this means. I would like to meet up with some of my scientist friends from the West in your castle. Yes? No. Let's say yes, because it's the only way to get our population back up. A convent of nuns has started meowing like cats. It's spreading to the village. General. You send the army to stop the nun meowing. The church is embarrassed but approves. And now our population is going to be low again. A fine company of your drunken soldiers ransacked an abbey. We want justice, yes or no? I think we're screwed either way. No justice. Your country is so rich we're throwing a party to celebrate with the most expensive food money can buy. All right, I'm going to die from choking and, drinking too much. Basically, there's permanent impacts here. I feel like I'm not giving you a representative start to the game, but because I started this crusade, I get so much money and I lose so much population, I have to maybe go a little bit faster in order to actually, rule for longer. It's great to have a lot of money, but it also, if we're not spending it fast enough, causes problems for us. We also might get a way to end this crusade, and that's what's kind of cool about this that I didn't think of at first is, at first I thought it was just like, if you rule as a king, you're going to, live your life and that's it. But it's cool that you can actually, in one lifespan, start a crusade. Like, we probably started this crusade, like, all the way back here with, like, Edward the Lover or something like that. And now, it's still going on despite the fact that we've had, like, several lives between then. All right, let's do this. Long live the king. I will pray for the prosperity of your majesty. Dope. Thank you so much for that. Basically, we're going to be looking for anything that lowers money, raises population. A group of villagers pretend they're being assaulted by celestial beings. It's probably a trick to pay less tax. I believe them. Lower our money, raise population, probably. The crusade lasted too long. We're losing. We have to retreat now. Okay, good. We've retreated, and now we can finally take some time to talk about this. Notice that some of our buffs have stayed on the bottom there, but not the ones that were connected to our existing life. Okay, I discovered a young genius painter. His works is a true sign of the divine in this world. Bring him in, which will probably, if I had to guess, cost us money but raise religion. Or I'm busy, which I'm assuming is going to lower both of these. Let's raise religion and lower our treasury slightly. My name is Randall. I will change the world with my art and your money. Yes. I'm assuming this is treasury down, everything else up. So the whole gameplay here is, beyond just trying to accomplish those sub-objectives, you want to keep these in equilibrium. So I figure sometimes maybe it's better to take one big hit and spread out a benefit to 3 other things that you can then draw from later. But sometimes it is a deck builder in many ways. So you'll get cards shuffled into your deck by accomplishing sub-objectives, and those cards will have a theme like subterfuge, war, etc., etc. And those can influence what you get in the future and can cause you to have a more or less likely chance to get the kind of cards you want. We would like to raise a new tax for the church, shared with the crown, of course. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say no, because I'm thinking if we say yes, the people will be mad, which doesn't bother me because they're in equilibrium, but we'll gain money, but the church might become too strong, so let's just have the church get a little weaker. My lord, could I talk to you in private? I know the priest will have to wait, but this is a very important matter. So this is Master Ben Mayman. All right, so I'm assuming this is going to be bad for the church, but good for the other aspects? Sweet. If you're wondering how I know that, it's just inferring from the text. But it is a guessing game. There actually are some abilities you can get from cards in the game that allow you to see what your score is in each of those categories at the top and then tailor it thusly. Or you can find yourself like, I married someone and found myself in love with them, and then the people became enraptured with her, like she was a Princess Diana figure or something like that. And then no matter what I did, people would not be affected. So we could make decisions that normally would be like, well, you'll gain a lot of money, but the people will be mad. But the people were not mad. And it was a golden age. So my high score of living like as long as possible or being in power as long as possible was 28 years, I think. Let's see if we can beat that over the course of this one. We're in a good spot here. Doctor enters the side room. He talks nervously about Sir William, who was ill the previous week. I'm just using the controller to play this, by the way, but you can use a keyboard and mouse as well if you're interested. It's basically like a 2-button game. During his fitful sleep, Sir William gave me details about a conspiracy against you. Should we bring him in? Absolutely. This is not true. Your doctor has a wicked soul. You should ask him about the hidden room. Doctor? What is this about the hidden room? There's nothing wrong with this room. I have to conduct my experiments somewhere. Okay, you know what? At least be discreet. It's good for the people. It's good for the, it's good for the population. It's good for the army. I would like to conduct a mass to the memory of your father. Unfortunately, I've had this card many times. It'll cost us money, raise the church. So instead, we'll say no, and that's going to be a mild penalty, but don't think of it as a penalty necessarily. Just think of it as trying to keep us in balance here. I should like to conduct research into the new transmutation of lead into gold. Could you finance me? I'm sorry, I really can't afford it right now. The treasury's not in a great spot. Greetings, your majesty. I wish to write a song for you. I have a good idea. What is it? A hymn to honor the heavens? I imagine that if this song gets produced, it will raise religion. We don't want that. We want a song about, you know, economic benefit, if possible. A folk song to inspire people to live another day. Anything else? A battle anthem. Anything else? My inner muse speaks to me. May I write freely with your blessing? Anything else? No, nothing. The muse ran away with my inspiration. Next time, maybe. Oh my god, we lost so much money. Should we build embassies in neighboring countries? It may be a good way to prevent wars. We can't afford to spend any money right now. We should trade with the Orient. We can offer the crown 10% of all profits made. Heck yeah. Bad for religion, though. Okay, we got the Silk Road. The spice trade adds to the treasury every year. You have more chance of angering your neighbors, though. Okay, so we might get more war, but we're making money every second. Which unfortunately means that if I sit here idle, we might gain too much money. I would like to paint your portrait, my lord. Please do. Take my money. Anything that takes money, I'm for. By the way, these characters are persistent. They will show up in different capacities throughout each of your character's lifespans, and you'll learn things about them. I would like to share with you some of the astronomical wonders my people discovered. Sure. Bad for religion, but good for everything else. This is very interesting, perfectly in line with the discoveries of Master Argos of Marep. We should... Blasphemy. The only truth is that the sun turns around us, God's creation, blasphemy. Yes. Again, we're trying to keep it in flux, not necessarily tailor the kingdom to what we want. Zen the Seer. I see 1,000 boats full of burly men. General. Good, it took our money. There's a crisis in our church. We need to reform our religion. Whoa, not so fast. Again, we gotta keep religion down for now if possible. It's raising too fast. So is money. It seems your army has very poor hygiene. We should spend a bit on this problem. Absolutely. We should defend our kingdom from the north. Attack. Anything that spends money. Sire, we should spend some money. That's what I like to hear. To build a communal barn to prevent famine. Yes. The pivot past the first millennium. Okay, so this is just like I have thrown myself at the wall long enough to unlock this, and we get some new cards shuffled into the deck. It's got a nice tactile feel as well with those cards getting shuffled into the deck. It's almost a little bit like Hand of Fate or something like that. The barn was expensive, but it's good protection to avoid famine and the people's unrest. It also feels a little bit like 7 Grand Steps now that I think about it. Sakuya the bird. It seems the bird was carrying a message, but it's not there anymore. Look on the windowsill. You find a torn paper message with a partial message, arm. This message must be important. Let's send our men to the borders. Anything that allows me to spend money, I'm for. Would you like to marry the young princess of a neighboring kingdom? I have to say no, because it's gonna give us money if we marry her. My lord, the wolves are eating our children. Can we hunt them? I will hunt them myself. The hunt was a success. We should have a very fine banquet. The banquet gave me money? I'm willing to stay in your court in order to help the understanding between our people. Yes. Stop giving me money! Mobilize and attack. There we go. We got to bleed off some of our money. Damn you, Silk Road! Yes, open shops. Yes, let's bet a bit of money. Okay. So there's also like a little bit of a fencing game in here. Ironically, I probably want to lose so that we lose some money. But we basically choose whether to attack or whether to cower. And I'm mostly gonna stay coward, so that he can actually beat me. I hope. There we go. He beats me, so I should lose some money and, ironically enough, stay alive. Is it gamey? Yes. Of course, if you were actually a king, you would probably want to, oh god, go faster. If you were actually a king, you would probably want to, you know, make as much money as possible. But for me right now, ooh, useful when your army is weak. For me right now, it's just a game abstraction. You're so clever, my lord. You're an example to all of us. I have a request. We gained a large mountainous land on the eastern border. Would you consider giving it to me? Yes. He gave me money. Don't give me money for that. Thanks to Sir William's actions, the mountainous region is now corrupt as well as unruly. That was quick. Should I send the army? Yes. Let me live and I'll tell you where the bandits' treasure is. No, I don't want your money. The Vikings are defeated. Should we exterminate the prisoners? Let them go. Thank God, that was good for religion. Let's organize a pretty funeral. Yes, create a museum. Yes, make a painting. Oh god, we need more religion. It's anarchy in the streets. A large mob is breaking into the castle. What? The reign ends, but no one harms you. You die many years later, praised and well remembered. This is the first time I've ever had a game in Reign's End without me being killed. So that's more of a representative, like normal game of reigns right there. Because we have these permanent effects like the Silk Road, sometimes you have to act faster, but most of the time you get a chance to live your life as slowly as you want. But there really is, the learning curve of the game is mostly, first off, accepting that you're gonna die. Yes, recruit more soldiers. And also, trying to get to the point where you can divine from the text what they're actually going to affect you with here. Like, for example, we could arrange your wedding with the Princess of the North. That would stop the war. I'm going to say no, because we can't really afford to take anything that gives us more money. A great fire is destroying your castle. We can save the garrison or the treasury. Let's save the garrison. I'd like to lose as much money as possible. The mines are full of gold, my lord. We are rich, or I'm rich. We're going to take we are rich. Spread the wealth. There's a cholera outbreak. Treat the population or close the castle's gates. I'm just going to wait before I make this decision because I think that treating the population could bankrupt us. But thankfully, the Silk Road's going to keep us in the money. The guild would like to give you 50% of the opium trade profit in exchange for the ability to raise an army. That's far too generous. The apocalypse is coming, my lord. Do you fear God? No, I'm good. This guy, by the way, okay, we just lost the Silk Road effect, so we can talk a little bit more slowly now. This is one of there's characters that come in that are a little bit more on the, how should I say, you know, black magic side of things. This is one of them. He's basically a spy, and I met him, and then his cards got shuffled into my deck, and he allows us to engage in some sabotage and subterfuge. I can draw red ants to the bed of the Eastern Baronies, your call. If we say yes, we lose some money. If we say no, our army grows weaker. But we're going to say no because I don't want to lose any money right now that we don't have the Silk Road anymore. A ship has been quarantined. It may be the plague. Shall we quarantine the whole port? I'm going to say yes, even though we might not be able to afford it. We can't. We ran out of money. Your country's ruined, my lord. Merchants and nobility own everything. I think that's one of the things that's going to be very divisive when it comes to this game. I hope it gets a lot more credit than, or not credit necessarily, but I hope it gets more press than I saw it get in preview. I did see a couple of people talking about it, but it's a more interesting game than I thought from the initial pitch, and maybe that's my own personal fault. But I think a lot of people, because, you know, I see the reaction to some of the games that Let's Look at, are going to be like, it's so stupid that you can't actually see the stats and manage what's going on in the background. You know, if you're a hardcore Paradox Grand Strategy game player, I think you might be like, I want to know, like, I want a spreadsheet to the right of me on my other monitor that tells me exactly what each of these cards does so I can balance it more appropriately. I kind of see this more as like a holistic storytelling approach, like almost like Tharsis in a way. You know that the odds are your run is going to end in failure. You try to balance it yourself, but you're doing it on hunches and maybe even superstition, but also just your inferences from what the cards actually seem to be giving you. And I think it's kind of a cool mechanic for the game that, like Gods Will Be Watching, at least some of the missions of Gods Will Be Watching, that stuff is kind of conveyed in the background. Like, how much you'll be affected by something is not like -5 to army. Instead, you've got to read the card and be like, okay, you read the card, you see the circle. Most of the time, you can figure out how it's going to affect it, but it's kind of a dice roll whether or not it's going to kill you or not when you take risks like that. But the game forces you into making difficult decisions like that. And for $3, I actually find this quite dynamic and entertaining. The message says a kraken has been seen on the shores of the kingdom. Fishermen are terrified. Let's pray. Bad for the people, good for the church. Or general. Good for the people, bad for the army, bad for the treasury. Let's be benevolent. I found blue and brown mushrooms in the forest. The blue ones seem edible. Give it to me. Blue mushroom. You suddenly feel very happy, then strange things start to happen. Woof, woof. Rex invites you to follow him. All right, all right. Raw growth. Rex wants to play. Here, take that. Rex brings back the ball. All right, enough. Rex brings you to a forgotten part of the dungeon. Explore further. Enter the pungeon. This is not my first time down here getting this Enter the Gungeon reference, but there's no way back, and in your absence, the kingdom ineluctably falls into anarchy. Okay, so we've basically got to go fast here in the dungeon. You feel nauseous. Arsenic door, salt door. Let's go arsenic door. A trap is triggered underneath your feet, and we died. Okay. Sometimes in the gungeon, or in the pungeon, sorry, you will encounter combat, and you'll have to do the fencing game again, so there's something to learn there. But I have never really managed to get to the end of it. Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more runs here. The harvest has been fantastic, my lord. You know what? Feed the army. Let's go to war this time. People want to watch you waking up and going to the bathroom. They will pay for the privilege. Really? Sounds good to me. Alright, it's the dog again. I agree. The Merchants Guild is selling goods traditionally produced by the Abbey. Put an end to this. I'm gonna say yes to raise church favor. My lord, you can't stop the trade. Please reconsider, even if it means paying a new tax. No. Oh god, I spent so much money. The Eastern Baronies are attacking. We will only prevail by enlisting the population. We can afford population to bolster our army, so let's do it. Cereals are very cheap, my lord. You should adjust the price of bread. Raise it slightly or double it. Let's raise it slightly. Free money, that's a free resource for us here. Our army is strong and we're winning the war. Shall we force a peace treaty? That's probably good in all areas. So let's take that. This is your 20th birthday, my lord. We should celebrate. No. I wanted to lower those other ones, and I didn't want to lose any money on a party. I've had enough of work for the day. What about a bit of sport, my lord? En garde? Let's do it. Your mother would be proud of your knitting skills. We can attack with an angry boar, or we can say, not my mother. I really don't fully understand how the fencing game works. I think you have to push them off the edge, or push them, like, into the edge. But either way, you can attack or defend. If it ever says, like, a special move, I always choose that. So let's go Angry Boar. Randall stares at you intently. Are you okay? You look pale. Let's go, you look pale. We're dead. Oh my lord, you have touched my heart. Whoa, this was unexpected. He pulled out some flowers. And you're touching my hand. Alright, well that's a dynamic story that remains to be told. A fine company of your drunken soldiers ransacked an abbey. We want justice. Ooh, you can have justice because the army is higher than the church right now. So we want to balance those out. The Eastern Baronies are regrouping under the banner of a terrible warlord. Send the army. Yes. Lower the army a little bit. There's a crisis in the church. We need to reform our religion. No, I'd like your meter to get lower there. The message says, a small village in the Eastern Baronies created a golem. I'm going to say no way. I know you're totally ignorant about the economy, but would you mind making an inspired talk in front of the merchants? Yes. The war is long and painful. Call for a ceasefire. Yes. I mean, we're well balanced here 15 years in. I would love to have like a 40-year reign. It seems my advice is not to your liking. You know who rules above men and kings. We can lower religion or raise it. I'm going to lower it. I'm trying to keep everything around like 50-50-ish. And we're doing pretty well with that so far. We need better defenses. Yes, I think we have to pay for it. The army was really low. I heard strange noises in the castle last night. We should have more guards patrolling. No. Whether you want to or not, I need you in the crypt of St. Armand. It's a matter of life or death. No, I'm not going back down to the dungeon. May the saints forgive your sins. You feel someone behind your back. Explain yourself? You're grasped from behind by an armed monk. You're sentenced to be burned alive. Your name is erased from books and buildings. God dang it. Robert, he was my chance to really put myself in the history books here. I'm calling it 33-year reign is getting beaten right here. We'd like to build a school in the capital for the enlightenment of the people. Boom. I'm Sister Elena, the headmistress of the new school. Help us nurture young souls. Excuse me, I just built the fucking school. You want more money? Take a few hundred years here for the treasury to come back. Maybe if we had the Silk Road, we'd be okay with it. A foreign merchant is selling new farming tools. We should copy his wares. Yes. Ooh, we're low on money. Should we build embassies? Can't afford them. I have a gift for you, but it has a price. You will have to prove to me you're a worthy king. Yes. Govern 15 years with old age. All right. It sucks that we saw the same one twice in a row, but this is the first time I've seen that duplicate. While digging for gold, we found the entrance of a strange crypt, a very scary one with ghostly voices and foil shells. Close that right away or I will go. Close that right away. Tweet. Who's in charge of this birthday? Okay, sure, tweet. The river Drodge is dry again. We should build a dodge. No. So we gotta make it 15 years with this and we'll get some kind of achievement. I'm not building the dodge. I can't afford it. Woe would like to Russio your pow tucks for the coop. Spurrod whip the crop of course so. No. Can't afford whatever you're asking me for. The mines are full of gold, my lord. We are rich or I'm rich. Let's go. I'm rich. Ooh, we built a personal fortune, got an achievement. I'm not sure if it gave us more cards, though. No, no more cards for that one. Would you like to Jerry, the young princess of a neighboring king doge? Yes. I would like to sing a song for your majesty. It's called The Fool and Its Majesty. Yes. It was a long tijo ago with your fool axe singing alone a sad, a very sad song. I apologize if this makes you feel like your brain is not working, but I'm just trying to read it as it says on the screen. Carry on. Hope pity Jesus stick jot is I koji piop by vori dirk ip diggly boist. I feel like if I said it like I was talking backwards, it would freak people out. But peace apt clap app is it cops the please yap gig tail. Thank you. All right, the people loved it. The school is an elaborate scheme to broop chup ya expol gupuritup jip religious idiocies. Stop it. No? I don't know what happened there. The message says we have seen reports of a dragon spreading destruction in the mountains. That's crap. 1 minute. Yes. 1 minute. Lady, Liana waves her hands and suddenly your infirmity is gone. I'm no longer in old age. You did it. Now you survived my curse. Now choose a gift. A red and cold ruby. Or a golden crown. Well, they're both giving us money. Let's take a red and cold ruby. Oh, and then this is... spoilers. We got some new cards shuffled in here. But our alchemist found this vase previously, or a doctor found this vase. And I forgot, but the vase was like, hey, if you find the frozen blood, bring it back to me. And I guess the ruby is the frozen blood. You found the frozen blood. I know you did. Yes. You put the ruby in the vase. It dissolves immediately and reveals... it's like a child's face. Who are you? Names are irrelevant. They only enslave their owners with a tantalizing but questionable sense of identity. Well, this has been quite a ridiculous rule so far. Lots of stuff happening in 15 years. I'm the pure idea of a man, an alchemic wonder created by a wise scientist from an age long forgotten. How pure? I'm the closest any being could be to a pure spirit, a perfect mind because of an impossibly weak body. Does it make sense? I question the very fabric of your reality, and it doesn't bother you? No, it doesn't? What does? Your kingdom, your power, your choices? I don't know. I would like to conduct a mass to the memory of your father. I'm going to say no, because I need the church to decline. We need money to organize the spring festival. Absolutely. Fair trade. It's Randall again, our burgeoning love story, creating all sorts of kerfuffle in the gossips of the court. I would like to adorn the basilica with a grand fresco full of powerful allegories of your royal virtues. Yes. The eastern baronies are attacking. We will only prevail by enlisting the population. No. Army's weak, dog. Your army is overwhelmed. Okay, we have to reinforce it or we'll probably lose. There's a crisis in the church. We need to reform our religion. No. You've got gout, my lord. I recommend less meat, more vegetables, and no love stories of any kind. Yes. Your kingdom is poor and weak. A benevolent friend of mine would like to offer some help for free. Please do. That's a heck of a good card right there. 24 years in power. We can do this. The estuary of the river drop is a dangerous swamp for travelers. We should sanitize the whole area. Honestly, I don't think I can afford it right now, so I'm going to say no. I'm pretty confident this concoction of leeches fed on maiden blood will cure your gout. Seems scary, but let's go for it. You drink the potion. It makes you ill and delirious for days on end, but doesn't cure the gout. You suddenly feel very old for the second time in our lives. A fat guy with a fake beard and a red coat is giving gifts to random children on the streets. It's not my concern. Oh god, the people are so scared. Yes, organize a curfew. Oh, money's not good. Greetings, your majesty. I wish to write a song for you. What is it? A hymn to honor the heavens. No. No, you may not write freely. A folk song, yes. Inspired. Honestly, I can't afford it. If I get him to write a folk song, he's gone. Nah, your country is ruined, my lord. Merchants and nobility own everything. Dang it, we almost made it all the way to the end of the, well, to a new high score. But at least we set a new record there. Or not a new record, but we got a lot of sub-quests done. I don't know what those icons in the back mean, by the way. Well, this is the main menu, by the way. This is, Reigns. It's an unusual game, but it's a game I've found myself enjoying more than I expected. And especially at this low price point, and given the fact that it's more suited for mobile, maybe. It is coming to Android and iOS, I believe on the same day that the Steam version is coming out. It's an interesting game. If you like Long Live the Queen, if you like that layer of Crusader Kings 2, if you like the Yogg, Gods Will Be Watching. It kind of reminds me even of a game like Rimmed Capsule or even Kingdom in the sense that it's like a minimalistic strategy game with the resources kind of obscured, if that makes sense. Like the mechanics are hidden behind an extra layer of abstraction. Not to get overly heady or anything like that. But I think it's worth checking out, especially given the price point there. But again, if you're interested in doing so, on Steam in particular, there is a link in the video description below. You can pick it up on Steam if you're interested. For now, if you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more Let's Look Ats in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.